Welcome to the Cluttered Corner. I'm Chelsea, and today is day 4 of Inktober. Today's word is exotic. I don't know what to do for that. Let's see. Let's draw a cat. Oops. And there. It's looking a little bit sad with that there. It's going to be an exotic cat. It's kind of a weird nose. I'm gonna give it one of those safari hats because it's on an exotic trip. Wow, this cat is not having a good time. Well, it is having a good time, but it looks kind of messed up. I don't know. I don't know what its deal is. I think this part here is making it bad. So let's color over that and make it a spot. Is that helping? Let's put some more spots, some exotic-y spots like that, a splotch, if you will. Some whiskers. Okay. And they always have these little dots here. I guess those are whisker follicles. This cat is a bit of a garbage cat, to be honest. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to represent the word exotic. And sometimes exotic things are not beautiful. Sometimes they're pretty messed up. This cat was not supposed to be messed up, obviously, but whatever. We love it anyway, because we don't need it to be beautiful. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, this is a raggedy looking cat for sure. I'm sure an exotic cat would have stripes on its tail like this. And maybe some stripes here. Now this cat is both exotic and it is going to find other exotic things. So it's an exotic cat from like the city in like captivity or something. I mean, not captivity. Domestication? Let's say domestication. This is a domestic city cat, but it's out in the jungle looking for other exotic animals that are exotic to it. Let's just, draw some jungle here. Some background trees. Can't tell if this pen's running out of ink or if it's just because of how I'm drawing with it. I think it's just how I'm drawing with it. Oh, look at that. See, the background's coming in. Let's put some tall grass. Everybody needs tall grass. Let's show someone peeking at it from here. Someone else. Exotic. Creepy. There. Well, this just looks like a normal cat. This doesn't look like a... I was going to put like a tiger, but, it's not really a tiger. It just looks normal. But maybe it's a normal cat and maybe that's exotic for this guy. Or maybe this cat followed this other cat here to an exotic land and is watching out for it because it's like, I don't know if that guy can take care of himself, but I don't want to tell him that. I want him to think he can do it. And it would be very embarrassing for him if he knew that somebody was following him and trying to protect him from himself. Let's draw a cloud like this, a wispy-ish cloud. I don't know if you can tell that that's what that is. But once we paint it, it might be clearer. Okay, draw more grass. And what else is exotic? Like, what says exotic? Exotic's kind of a all over the place word. Let's put a pond here. It's not really necessarily exotic. I guess it could be a watering hole. And it's kind of like a lapping spot there where it gets kind of muddy. And put some grass in there too. Some different grass than what's out here. And I think this is about all that there's room for, really. Maybe a lily pad. I don't know if they would have frogs in a place like, well, there don't have to be frogs and lily pads. They're not necessarily together. Frogs don't create lily pads. Lily pads exist, and sometimes frogs jump on them, but it's not the same. Okay. Okay. Drawing done. Oh, this poor cat. I'm so sorry, cat. I did not mean to draw you like this. These are some that are supposed to be like semi-wet already, or they just stay kind of wet, I guess. So I've only used them once to do like swatches. I think I did like a test page, but I'm definitely going to need my wells for this. Okay, exotic cat, brown. Oh, hey, look at this. 2 yellows. There's 2 yellows in this. I do have a palette that has 2 yellows. If you saw my video from yesterday where I was speculating that maybe palettes with more than 1 yellow. Well, they exist, but maybe I didn't have any. I do have some. And I put a little bit of orange in here. Now, these being, I guess, semi-wet or whatever it is, they're like, you don't, I mean, I still spray them down, but you don't really have to wait for them to like activate or whatever it is. I don't always wait for that anyway, but sometimes you have to because it just doesn't happen. And I think especially with like, with the student grade kind, those take a while. But maybe I'm mixing that up. Maybe it's the opposite of that. This is a good cat color, I think, for this cat being an exotic striped cat. An exotic striped cat from not an exotic place. It's just from home. Wherever that is. It's not here, though, because this is an exotic place to this cat. There we go. Okay. So, let's see. What have I been doing today? Today, I unmolded some resin stuff. Some of it turned out, some of it didn't. I keep having this problem where I like squish round things into like a not round shape, and then if they have a lid, they don't fit. And I wasn't doing that before, but now I am. But I think it's because I've been squishing them trying to get the bubbles out. And if you don't know anything about resin, you're probably like, what are you even talking about? But if you do, you're like, those bubbles, they'll get you. And they do. But I think that was probably my last resining for the season because, well, I don't really have a good space for it. And it's hard to do because you got to have everything be ventilated. So we'll see, though. We'll see. And I just found out also that Time Bandits got canceled, and I'm so upset about that. Sometimes, as an adult, you just feel like having a childlike tantrum because there's something just so far out of your control that you're like, why? Why would they do this? And I don't know why they would do it. See, look, I'm running out of color. But I think I still have enough. You should probably make enough color to do whatever thing you're trying to do. But I often don't. And I'm okay with that because then it gives me an opportunity to mix it up a little bit different. Now, I didn't want to get the nose. I wanted the nose to stay not this color so that I could paint it a different color. I'm going to try and scrub it a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to work. No, it's too late. So I'm going to paint over it real quick and hope for the best. And this is red. I don't really want it to be red, but if I dilute it too much, I don't think it's going to like stick here. I think that works. That's, it's kind of like a off brown sort of red. Oh my God, this picture. I mean, this is what I mean about hilarious mistakes. I mean, this isn't a mistake. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say you were a mistake. You were wanted. I'm going to paint this lily pad with this green that I found on my ceramic palette because I think it's a nice color for that. But it's not from this. I don't think. Actually, I don't know where that came from. That's the beauty of having just a random palette. I don't know if you can see this. This is what I've got going on here. And I would love to clean this, but the problem and the why I don't clean it is because then look at how much is left. So like here, there's not very much left, but here there's a lot. And so if I were to clean that, I would lose all this paint. So instead, I just keep being like, well, I guess I'll paint something orange then. And you know what happens is I paint something orange, but then I need more orange paint because I've started painting things orange. And then I just fill it up again. So eventually I just have to be like, nope, I'm just getting rid of them all. But that's not right now. But anyway, Time Bandits was amazing. If you didn't see it, you should go see it. And then, I mean, it's a show. It's not a movie or anything. It's a show. Well, actually, it is a movie. Sorry. It is a movie from back in the day. I've not actually seen the movie. But the show, I thought was amazing. And if you want your heart to be broken because it's not going to continue, then go watch it and be upset. I hate when people are like, oh, the show got canceled after like one season. Go watch it. You have to go see it. And I'm like, I'm going to be upset. You know I am. Sometimes I do it anyway. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to set myself up for that. What's the point? But then, when you do, you're like, oh man, that was so good. Okay. I like this color that I randomly found. Don't know what this is from. Whatever I was coloring orange most recently. I know I've been talking a lot about the color orange lately. About how maybe I can paint with orange, maybe I can't. And today I'm feeling like I can. But I'm also pretending it's brown. I can paint with brown. So, Okay. No. Needs a little bit more. Needs some more down here because this needs shadows. And I mean, these aren't really even quite shadows yet, but it's going to need more color than that, I think. There. That's good enough for now. We'll let that dry and we'll come back to it. So, this guy back here, what's their deal? They're going to be gray. Oh, is this color gray? We don't know. I think it is. Again, I should have my test swatches out, but I couldn't be bothered. It's kind of gray. I don't know if you probably can't see that. Let's see. This color, and I probably shouldn't have this over the painting like that because I'm going to mess something up, but I think it's soaked in enough. This isn't really a cat color gray. I'm going to add a little bit of, purple. I'm going to add some purple to it. But it was blue. It's not. Again, I should have test swatches here ready to go. But I don't. So, you know what? It's going to be a purple gray cat back here watching. Yeah. It's a stylistic choice. It's purple, but it represents gray. And maybe it's just the shadows of being in the grass. I mean, probably not, but I think it's a nice purple gray if we're going that way. Okay. Yeah. This will do. Now, it's not what I normally would have done, like I said, but I think it can work. I would say drawing it like this is not what I normally would have done, but that's also not true. This is totally something I would draw, and I did. Okay, I don't know how to do this color because it's one of those safari hats, and I think it's a little bit green. Oh, oops. A little bit green with some yellow. Maybe. Or maybe it's more of a brown color needs to be mixed in there. Color mixing, I don't know. I really like color mixing. I didn't like it at first. But it's kind of fun once you get the hang of it. Sometimes it is nice, though, to just have the colors that you want and not have to worry about it. Well, I think that kind of represents one of those hats. You know what it's supposed to be. I think. Anyway, yeah. So, That can go like that. I'm gonna paint, I'm gonna paint this guy's nose. I'm gonna give him a darker nose than this one because he's in the back and he's kind of shadowed there. And actually, maybe I'll add a little bit of this color to this nose just to make it stand out. And now, tree trunk. Gotta get the tree trunk to be in there. And that's a good brown. This palette's got some nice browns in it. I did mix that with some other random color here. So I guess we don't know if we can really attribute it to this one or not. But there we go. I really like this picture. It's so ridiculous. But you see what I mean about mistakes. I think I said that already, actually. But I'll say it again because it's true. And now I'm mixing up some green. Some kind of dark green. Add some more water to it. And I'm going to put that here on these trees. I don't know what color these trees should actually be. Probably more olivey than this, like, foresty green. But I also really like this green. So I'm just going to go ahead. Colors are all over the place with this. And so is my drawing. So, you know. But like I said, exotic is kind of all over the place. That could be like anything. Anything could be exotic. And now these, for the brush, I'm definitely going to do... Oh man, getting smears all over. I'm going to do a lighter green. And I think I'm going to use this weird gray green. I'm going to mix some of that with this green. And I'm going to mix up... I'm going to add some yellow. But this yellow, I think. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not quite the color I wanted, but it's close enough. It's more of the color I wanted than I thought I was going to get, to be honest. I could add a little more brown to that, I think. But, you know, I'm going to do this layer. I'm going to see how I feel about it. And then if I want to, I'll add more. And I'm doing all of this first before I do, like, the blue part of the sky. Spoiler alert, the sky's going to be blue. Assuming I can get a good blue color. But this doesn't look like a cloudy day to me. This looks like a sunny day. And this cat is just enjoying his exotic holiday. But you know, this other cat watching this kind of makes me think that this isn't really an exotic holiday at all. That this cat's friends and co-workers got together and made him think he was on an exotic holiday, but they didn't trust him to go on an actual one because, I mean, look at him. He looks like he might get taken in by a swindler. And, or, you know, just not be able to handle himself. And so maybe he really wanted to go and they didn't want to tell him you can't go. But they also wanted him to be safe. So they tricked him into thinking he's on an exotic safari. And really, he's just at the park. Like, or the zoo. Probably not the zoo, because I don't know if there would be like a pond like that. But, you know, just somewhere not actually that far away. And we don't know if how elaborate this was. You know, like, did they drug him and make him think he took a long trip? Or did they just, you know, point him at the park and say, oh, it's exotic? He can't be that dumb. But I do feel like they have his best interests at heart, even if they maybe did some weird things to get him there. And then this guy is just watching to make sure that everything happens according to plan. And that this guy has a good time in his exotic safari, which is maybe not very exotic at all. Now, I'm painting this brown. I wasn't really intending for it to just be brown, but I'm going to paint some green over it. And honestly, this is like too much because this guy, he's blending in too much with it. But I want to give it this foundation, and let's hope this works, because I don't know. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. But I think I'll do that, and then I'm going to add some more green and just kind of paint over it. Give it more of a ground color. And I kind of want to switch brushes, but I don't think I'm going to, because I think I won't want to switch back if I do. And I think I'd better stick with this one, because I might need to paint more details. And that will be easier with this brush. So if I did switch, I'd switch to my dagger brush, and that one, I can do a lot of different stuff with that. The other day I made some fall candles, and I've never made candles before, and it was fun, but it's also kind of like I had all this wax and it made only a couple candles, and I was like, okay. But also, at the same time, I don't even know what to do with those candles. I mean, burn them, obviously, but also, why do I need so many? I have a bunch of candle holders and not so many candles. But it was fun. I didn't film it because I didn't know how to really film that. I don't know. I mean, I've seen, obviously people do, but I don't know. Didn't film it. And to be honest, there wasn't anything that exciting. But it was fun. Okay. I'm going to add some brighter green to this background. And I think it'll brighten it up a little bit. And it'll also give a sense that there's like more layers to this grass than just this one. Because some of the grass is this green and some of it is that other green. The like brownish green. Yeah. Some there. And I'm going to put some here. So I think that whatever's in this pond is going to be green. Like a bright green because it's in the water. Oh, do I want to put anything in here? I like this lily pad the way it is. I like it the way it is. So I'm not going to mess with it because I don't want I'm going to change it too much. And I don't think I even have the color that it was. It's gone from my palette. It's kind of an adventure, painting with who knows what on your palette. Now, what color is this? It's not going to be the same color as the sky. The sky's going to be a light blue. And I do have some light-ish blue here. Just mixing a bunch of water in that so I can get a good wash going. Because once you start doing the wash, you're not going to want to like have to redo it. I do that a lot, but ideally, no. And you know what? I am going to switch brushes because I cannot do that with this. Also, this one holds more water. I can get more water in here. There we go. Just kind of spread this around. Just do like a light blue in the background. So, let's see. What do you think about the situation? Who is this guy in the background? And why is this guy so happy? Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Like, what do you think's going on? I mean, you can give me your opinion too, but it's not it's not necessarily what I'm asking for. Unless your opinion's good. But let's see. But am I asking if this was a good painting or not? No, I'm not asking that. I already know it's excellent. Let's paint this a darker blue. Oh, no, that's purple again. Oh, man, I got fooled again. Sometimes a dark blue is a purple, and that's why I end up with a lot of random purples in this palette that I haven't used, because, yeah, I know I used up the spot that I was keeping the blue in, but here we go. I'm going to mix it with some green, and that's actually going to make it be kind of a muddier blue, which will work really well for this, I think. And put this mud color in here. This is a good mud color. I don't know what color they wanted it to be, but it's a good mud color. I mean, mud's not usually a color that you find in a palette, I don't think. Yeah, see there. It's actually kind of like lunar blue. It's not lunar blue, but I think we've just discovered lunar blue, if it wasn't already a thing. And lunar blue is a Daniel Smith color that I have talked about before, if you don't know. But this is not it. This just looks like it. So, that's a good pond. And this part here, I want to be muddier than it is. So, I'm going to add this. Let's just hope this is a really dark color. Oh, it is. It's black, I think. That'll do. I'm going to mix that up with the blue that I used for that. And just kind of spread that around. There. And we want to try and put a shadow in. Do things have shadows when they're in the water? I really got to learn that. I got to look at some water pictures and see. But that's a good point. What about shadows on here? Because I haven't really done a lot of shadows yet. Shadows are the most fun. So I'm going to just keep using this dagger brush. Like I said, if I switch to dagger brush, probably not going to switch back. And that's fine. Not required to switch back. I think I can pull this off with the dagger brush. And I know what you're thinking. You can see the other brush still here in view. It's not hard for me to pick it up. But I'm not going to. I'm going to continue with this. Because I think I can. Actually, if we look at these, this dagger brush has a finer tip than this round brush. So actually, I can get a much finer line with this one. But you could also mess it up. I guess that's the trade-off. Is it could be better, or you might screw it up. And, you know, but I'm not going to worry about screwing it up, because if I screw it up, I'll just fix it somehow. And, I think maybe that's it for shadows on this guy. Let's add a little bit more here. Sometimes I like to put something on the eyelids to make it look... And sometimes, for a long time, I would put, like, stuff here, but I don't know if that's quite right. Like, their eyes are so big that they're casting a shadow across their face. Oh, that looks a little bit like a bloody nose. I'm gonna fix that real quick. There. And yeah, I feel good about the shadows here. So I think he's done. I am gonna switch brushes. I'm gonna switch back. And I'm gonna put some shadows underneath him. I'm just gonna take some black and mix that with some green. And let's hope that's not too dark. Now, watercolor tends to dry not as dark as you put it down. So you kind of have to estimate it darker than it's going to be, or than you want it, because it's not going to be that dark. And then you might find that you still need to put more layers down, just because it's not actually as dark. And that's fine. It's a layers game. You just got to keep putting layers down until you get it where you want. And hopefully your paper can handle a lot of layers. This paper can, like I said the other day, this is just a cheap paper, but it's 100% cotton. And I've had some good luck with those and some not. And this one I really like. And it holds up well. Okay, now, real question is, do I want to risk putting some even darker shadows on him? Oh, I don't think I do. I think any shadows on him like that are kind of already taken care of by the brush pen. And I don't want to go too far. You got to know when to stop. It's like poker or whatever. So I think the trees could use a little bit more depth. I think they have some good depth just naturally, but I'm going to add a little bit to them just to see. See if I can scratch some more shadows into them. And again, the brush pen kind of does a lot of that. The brush pen's pretty cool because it does a lot. You can really imply a lot with it in shapes and shadows and just, you know, I'm really happy with it. It did take some getting used to, I will say. But like I said before, in my first video, I was talking about how I was just trying to use up the paint, or not paint, the ink in it. I was trying to use up the ink in it. And in doing that, I also just treated it as like brush practice, or brush pen practice. Like, you know, it's kind of weird, but I'm trying to just get used to it. And here I'm adding a little bit more to the grass because I think, well, I like this color, and I think it's kind of adding a nice texture to it. And I'm going to call that good. Maybe. No, you know what? I think the pond has dried enough. It needs a little bit more to it. But I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. And I don't want to ruin it. But I think I might. I don't want to get it too wet. Sometimes even, well, I guess it's like if it hasn't dried enough, but it's dried a little bit too much, and then you try and put more paint on it, you can kind of mess it up. But I'm just kind of giving it a bit more. And I don't know if I should have done that. Maybe it was better before. But it gives it a little bit more interest, too, because it's got more, what's it called? Variety of, like, darkness and shape to it. So anyway, I think that's it. I think this picture's done. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Like, leave me a comment. What's this cat's story? Tell me his background. What's his life like? What is his job? Like, how does he get by in life? And what do you think he's looking at? Do you think he really went on an exotic safari? Or do you think he's just at the park at home and everybody's like worried about him? Let me know. Hit like, hit subscribe, and come back and watch more of these videos. Who knows what I'll draw? Every day is a surprise for sure. And I did not know I was going to draw this. It's beautiful. It's a real masterpiece. So anyway, I will see you next time on the Cluttered Corner.